Dan, thanks for jumping on, buddy. We're obviously just talking offline about the amazing success of your business, your brother's business, you and Matt, with your socks business. We'll get some details on obviously what the brand and the products actually are. But we're having this chat because you made such great progress over the last 12 months from basically starting up late 2023, hitting through, I would like to claim the 40K month late last year, which was an incredible milestone. You guys have worked so hard. We'll get into the weeds of what you guys specifically did and obviously some great lessons that, you can pass on and share with people. But to kick off, I'd love to just get a little bit of a introduction to yourself and where you guys were at before we met.
Yeah, so our brand's Dry Step. It's a sock brand. So my twin brother Matt and I started this in September 2024. We probably got stuck in the analysis paralysis for a bit too long, but we looked to start it. It was the end of 2023. So before launching, it was probably a 10-month process to launch, and it started off with both of us were feeling a bit unfulfilled with our careers at the time. So I'm a lawyer, Matt's an accountant, and the job was fine, but I was always thinking about, wanting more. I've always been interested in marketing and sales. Davey Fogarty, who started the Woody, his score was about 5 minutes away from mine. So I've seen the success he's had. And I found that really inspiring as well. And so I started to take a bit of an interest in e-commerce. I saw that he actually posted like a free drop shipping course on YouTube. So that's how I started to watch that. And I thought this is really cool and interesting. Seems actually quite easy to start. There's a low barrier for entry. So I watched his course, it was about 3 hours. Then I was like, well, what product are we gonna go with? Matt actually thought of this like work to workout sock because we work office jobs, and typically dress socks are really thin. They get sweaty, clammy easy by like lunchtime. Odor issues. They're not durable. You wear them for a month and you got to replace them. They're uncomfortable. Well, like, why don't we make a dress sock that's just way better than what's out there? And then because we're both like active, like sporty guys, we go to the gym every night. Then we change into gym socks. So we were like, why don't we make like an all-in-one sock that you can wear office to gym? So that's kind of how the idea that we started with, and then yeah, followed that kind of that drop shipping course, came up with the name Dry Step, branding, did sampling for 6 months, did photography, website, and then yeah, launched it late 2024. We got probably 2, 3 months in, and I was looking for more mentorship because we were pretty much just shooting from the hip for the first 3 months. I'd learned quite a bit on Facebook ads at the time though, so that was really important to get off the ground. Was an advisor for anyone is like learning Facebook ads pretty much from the get-go. But then yeah, we were looking for more mentorship. That's where your course came up. I'd seen what you'd done with your brand and the community you'd built. So yeah, it was really interesting starting and yeah, hit the ground running with you. That was probably January last year, so a year ago. I think we were doing 5K a month at that point in time. It was just Facebook ads and pretty much organic, friends and family. We were driving all around Adelaide, dropping orders off and just doing whatever we could to make it work. Just making sure we absolutely value the customer as best we could. And yeah, so that's pretty much where we really started off with your course. And then we got it like optimized our email flows, Google ads. We got Google ads up and running, started to bring out new products, new SKUs. We were doing all our own graphic design and filming and editing ads and all that type of thing. And yeah, got to Black Friday and ended up doing that 40K month, which was like a massive confidence booster for us. It was a big goal for us to just try and get a 30K month. Well, it started off with like a 10K month was the main goal, which even when we started, I thought that was like completely out of reach. So, but like, it's funny how the goalposts change so much, and now 10K month is a poor month for us. So,
Yeah.
um,
It's
yeah,
oh man, it's an awesome story. And actually it does sound a lot like Sam, my brother and I, when we started, he was at Macquarie Bank in corporate finance. I was doing property valuation. So corporate world, and just didn't as you say, well, it was probably less fulfilling for us. We actually resigned to go and start a business. We didn't even know at that point what we were going to start. And then it came out of the second or third kind of iteration of that. But in terms of like scratching the creative itch or the entrepreneurial itch that you guys obviously have as well is amazing. I mean, yeah, like you've got heavy jobs as it is in terms of hours wise to be able to create something from scratch and then be able to formulate a business is incredible. And as I say, the amount that you've done in 12 months is probably the same that Sam and I are able to do in maybe 4 or 5 years. And so that's just full credit to your guys' commitment because obviously you guys are doing this after hours and on weekends. Like how much time do you guys typically spend, during the week outside hours like on this business?
Yeah. So in the early stages, I would say the first 6 months, it was pretty much 2 hours a night. So we would go to our jobs, try and get like a gym session in straight after work. And the best way we found to keep that as like a part of our lives was to make it everything as convenient as possible. So our gym was like a 5 minute walk from our work, and it still is. So finish work at about 6 o'clock, walk there, get a session in, drive home, get home probably 7:30, cook some dinner, and then 8 till probably 10:30, 11 o'clock every just pretty much 3, 4 nights a week. We would work on the business, both of us.
Hmm.
And then weekends, even the first 6 months, it was probably 8 hours on a Saturday a lot of the time. And then Sunday would still be from like 4, 6, 8 hours as well. So it was pretty much 7 days
Hmm.
a week. And now we've been able to strip it back to we're probably spending 20 hours a week each on the business now. So we're not spending our whole weekends doing it, but it was it was just a prerequisite to really getting to where we wanted to get to in the first 6 months. And we wanted to build quickly as well. So
Yeah.
we didn't want to, do our first 10K months after like 2 years. We
Yeah.
set goals for ourselves to try and hit it. We
Yeah.
set hit the milestones a bit quicker. So yeah, we're happy we're proud of where we are today, but still a long way to go and still very motivated and hungry. But it's all about just staying consistent, persevering, and just setting up your day so it makes it easy to do the work. And that's really what we did. We made it easy for ourselves to do it. So I gave up like Netflix during the week,
Yeah.
which was, I'll still spend an hour a night like winding down, but it's something that you can easily happy to if you're really thinking long term about your future, it's something that you can easily fit the time in.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you've found as well. You can
Yeah.
you can find time to fit things in without absolutely burning yourself out. Like I'm still getting 8 hours sleep a night. I'm still doing everything I want to do, but
Mm. Yeah.
you
Oh
will have
man.
to make
Yeah.
sacrifices.
Yes, that is this is a really good talking point that not a lot of people speak about, openly. Like people talk about it rah-rah type sacrifices, but when you hear it exactly like that, and then be able to see what transpired from that sacrifice is the most important validation that people need to hear. Because if you don't do that, if you don't know what you're in for, then there's no way you'll be able to make it to the other end sustainably, right? Like people like make two mistakes. One is that they basically don't understand the time dedication it takes, right, in that initial phase to know that they can ease off. Because all they see is if I work more, I'm going to have to keep working more or more on top of more, which is scary for people. Or they just don't do the work and then take way too long and never actually get to a certain milestone. They're the couple of mistakes that I see. Whereas if you're realistic with what it takes, you actually understand what it's going to take and do the necessary time, then that's when you're going to see the results in a reasonable period of time. Because as I
Yeah.
said before, like not just your corporate life, but I can resonate with the hours putting in. Like we were juicing in the morning, doing our cold press juice, doing all the admin during the day, and then actually delivering the juice to our customers too around Melbourne. We'd have 15K radius because that's all we could drive to in a given night. And so yeah, we were doing 15, 16-hour days, getting a decent amount of sleep, and then doing it all again, right? But Sundays were our biggest days, so we had to cut things on Saturday night. We had to. I eventually stopped playing football seriously myself, and these are sacrifices we had to make for that longer term goal. So I think it's really important that just for people to hear and for us to as well to acknowledge that yeah, sacrifices have been made, and like if you really want to get to it, you can do it, but you can't have everything all at once, right? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like
definitely
one
give
of the
all.
best, one of the best things is like if you don't sacrifice what you want becomes a sacrifice. So true. It's absolutely true. And you think about like if you were 12, like now looking 12 months back, like would you regret all the Netflix you didn't watch versus would you regret all the progress in your business you didn't make? Like it's an
Yeah,
obvious thing
absolutely.
looking about it now,
Yeah,
So if we can future pace that, then that's what it takes. And then that creates the motivation and sustainable effort, as you said, really, really rightly, the consistency with your effort. Like we're talking a bit offline about that, and it's just time in the game. You'll learn what you need to learn. Just give yourself the space to do so. It's really as simple as that. Um,
Yeah, the sacrifice doesn't have to be, yeah, like I said, we're not doing the hours now that we were those first like
yeah,
6, 8, 9 months because you get better, you're learning quicker, you
exactly.
optimize, you get better at things, it becomes easier, doesn't take as much time. We just finished our first calendar year, so now we're pretty much you end up we're like doing the same thing again, but just at a bigger scale.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. You
So
speed up that learning. You're 100% right. Like you put the work in early to get you gotta, you gotta get the train moving and then it starts to build its own momentum. And so then you can start to get, as you say, smarter through what you've learned. And that's just part of the course. And if you know that and accept that, then as I say, everything becomes a lot easier from that. You just put in the hours and it's as simple as that. Just coming a step back, before you jumped in, I know you mentioned you were actively looking for mentorship and stuff like that. Do you guys recall you had any reservations about jumping in with EB? Was there anything on your mind that you recall being like, not sure if it's going to work or anything like that? Was there anything stopping you, do you think, at that
I
point?
think, and it's probably common for a lot of people when starting, there is this, I guess, notion attached to courses that you're not going to get out of it what the value, like the money you put into it, you might not get out of it. There's a lot of course that are scams and that type of thing out there. So inherently have that skepticism to start, which is normal for a lot of people as to why they don't start courses. And then like the cash outlay as well. At the time when we started, I think we were only doing 5 grand a month. So then you're concerned because like, your cash flow isn't that. When you say your profit margins are 10, 20%,
Mm,
you don't have the necessary cash flow to maybe fund it over the next 12 months, unless you really scale your business over that 12 months. So it's just like backing yourself. And maybe we didn't back ourselves enough at the start to do those things. But I've always found with mentorship, if there's something I don't know how to do, or there's someone who knows how to do it far better than I do, I'd prefer to pay and get that help rather than spending like, 10 times the time figuring out myself and potentially even 10 times the amount of money as well. So
mm,
that
yep.
was, yeah, maybe that was a bit of the skepticism before starting. And then, but once I got some comfort from you, there were quite a few members in the course who had scaled their businesses successfully and even had like similar businesses to the business that we had, even Sean with Willie
Mm,
Wagtail. That was a big reason of why I came to the course because I saw that, he started off at 5K a month or whatever, and then now he just did 75K the last Black Friday. So having guys like those guys in the course, that it's not just you as a mentor, but having a full community where you can just bat ideas off each other is super helpful. And just being around like-minded people in business, as you know, it gets very like lonely. Luckily, I've got my brother. We
mm.
we talk about all our problems, but a lot of people, you start kind of speaking a different language with a lot of your mates. They don't know what the hell you're talking about. I can tell that I can tell they don't have a clue what I'm talking about or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's nice just to talk to people who've kind of been there and done it as well. You understand each other's problems and
For sure, for sure. And
uh,
and sort of like we said before, they know what you've been through when you come out the other side and you're able to humbly celebrate wins and they know what you've gone through and are so genuinely happy and motivated and inspired by you as well. And I find that a community of people like that that just know what you're going through day to day. And I'd say that 99% of people that come into EB are, solo operators. Like you and I are both lucky to have our brothers in our businesses. But a lot of people don't have that. And so to understand the ins and the outs and the realities of what people are going through, not just the struggles, but obviously the successes as well, and how simple things actually are and need to be is so like light bulby, like as in like, cool, I'm doing the right thing. I just need to maybe cut this angle or do this or send that email or launch that ad or have that split. And it's very, it gives you so much confidence basically to know that people are doing that you're doing the right thing, as you say, based on other people's successes and what we've done before. So
yeah,
yeah, it's been
exactly. And even been where you've been
yeah.
before, even in a worse position,
Yeah.
and then you just realize a lot of the decisions you make, like the world didn't end. Maybe, no one died. You lost a few dollars, maybe making a
Yeah.
poor decision, but you always learn from it as well. So just getting better at doing that over time has helped.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think that when, it was, again, we're speaking about it, one of the biggest things that I've observed from yourself and Matt is the speed at which you execute. And so one thing that we massively advocate, and something that I just have learned from over and over and again, is just the speed to execution. And that's a subjective term. Like your fast is different from my fast is different to the next one, but you are definitely in that higher echelon of how fast you've been able to implement ideas, irrespective of if it's perfect or not, because it's never going to be perfect, right? You're never stuck on that starting line wondering what if. It's like, let's figure it out. If not, we'll come back and go that other way. But I'd say, 4 times out of five, probably it is the right tact, and it's going to make you progress to that next step anyway. So, that's a really big thing that I've observed from you guys, and I'm not surprised in the slightest about how far you've come. And I just know what's on the, horizon for you guys as well. It's been amazing to watch, and will be to continue to watch as well. Just as a final thought, man, being where you are now, 12 months, you've been in EB, which is awesome, but only just sort of 15 months in actual business. Like, what would you sort of say to people that are, where you were 12 months ago? Like, what would you sort of say to people that are feeling a bit, overwhelmed, maybe lacking confidence? Like, what would you say the next step is, for them at that point?
Yeah, I think just starting, taking the action is obviously that was the hardest part. Was just the starting. Always, there's never ever, and you find this as well. There's never the perfect time, perfect moment to do something, and we've gotten a lot better at rather than just trying to get everything perfect, which we definitely were doing in the early days. Launching things when it's like it's good enough. It's 8 out of 10. It doesn't have to be 9 or 10 every time. And if it's worse than 8, you sure enough find out quickly that you need to improve things. So taking action, and like Matt and I really worked on our mindsets. I was talking to you about this offline as well. And what I've found over the course of my life when I work hard at something and I show up every day consistent, and even if it's just like having 1 to 3 non-negotiables every day, no matter how small or large, that you need to just tick off for the day to be a success. And it might just be something as simple as sending an email, launching one ad,
Mm.
and looking at the CRO on my product page and my bestseller. And that might only take 30 minutes, but at least you've achieved something every day. And that's kind of the mindset Matt and I had. Let's just get our 1 to 3 non-negotiables done every day. There are going to be days where I can only dedicate 15 minutes. And that might just be I look at the ad account and turn off a couple ads that are underperforming or whatever. So yeah, taking action, showing up every day consistently. And yeah, like I said, what I've found was when I work hard at something, show up every day, like the results would always come typically.
Yeah.
But if you don't do it, you just, I guess, die wondering. So, um,
Man, that's really powerful advice. I really appreciate you sharing that, and you're 100% right. I mean, and it's kind of the common theme there is controlling what we can control, because we talk about outputs and results being literally out of our control, but we can control the leading metrics, right? The actions that we actually do take and the speed at which. And then, like we talk about, throughout the community as well, it's just stacking wins. And we determine our wins by our actions and what we actually do. The results are amazing. We celebrate those for sure. But if you can celebrate yourself as a business owner and a person, little wins every single day that's in your control, like you said, shutting off doing an image or launching an ad or sending an email, that is the validation and effort that's required to just do things consistently, to feel good consistently that you're on the right track. So, that's awesome advice, man. And it's great that you guys have, done that for now over, an entire year, and it's going to sustain you all the way through as well. So
yeah,
that's
thank you. Oh,
that's awesome.
sorry, even just back to that, I wanted to add
Mm,
a couple more things. It's what I've found, like to even get some success with the business, like your product, I think at the first and foremost thing, your product has to be at least good.
mm,
I think that'll help. That helps solve a lot of problems. If your products are pretty average or mid, maybe more of a drop shipping product to start, like you're fighting more of an uphill battle. Like no matter how much time you spend on marketing your website and stuff like that, it can't really solve the issue of having a bad product. So I think that's if you're really overwhelmed at the very start, make sure you're happy with your product. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then start focusing on more of the ecosystem of, all right, well, how can I sell this product? Ads, good website. I need an email. I need to build a customer base, so emails, and then like even just social media, so more organic content. Like focusing on those 4 pillars is really that's what's got us to where we are today. So if you're
mm,
overwhelmed,
Mm.
Just keeping it simple and focusing on like the pillars that can help move the business while ensuring you've got a good product, I think is a good recipe for success in ecom.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm really glad you emphasized that because, and we talk about that about like that's the foundation. You can't polish a turd, as I sort of often say, and that's through marketing. Like you can market, 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 but if people don't want your product, and it happens to some people, then you gotta adapt. You gotta move
Yeah.
on, choose a different product, or reposition it, or whatever you actually need to do to have something that people actually want. That's a very important fundamental that some people just assume and go and start to promote. But it's like, hey, people don't even want this, right? So yeah, that is so true. Having that validation and you can grow and scale a business pretty quickly once you've got something people want. So thanks for adding that in, man. Um, Amazing, dude. Well, look, thank you for the chat. Really appreciate it. And obviously, congrats. I know it's just the beginning for you guys. Like you should be super proud of your effort up to this point, but the next 12 months are going to be even bigger, even better. And the hard work in my experience, in my opinion, is kind of done to the point that you're at in the sense of you've got all the validation and confidence and belief that you need to just take this thing as far as you guys want to take it. So, that's really, really exciting. And yeah, congrats again on the
I
amazing.
appreciate it, Will. Thanks for having me. Absolute pleasure.
Awesome, buddy.